Premier League all-time 11. I love this because it's one of those that's constantly changing as more sides win the Premier League. Of course, including Man City. A 4-4-2 of the best players of all time.
This is so easy.
I think there's 5 that are guaranteed between both of us. And no, Harry Maguire cannot be in this list.
I'm glad that he's not been put on the table.
I was worried.
So okay, mate, I think we can rattle through
Let's
this.
rattle through the goalkeeper.
We can do this so easy. So this is the best ever Premier League all-time 11.
I'll gamble now and say we've got one already. Goalkeeper.
Go on.
There is no debate. It's Peter Schmeichel for me. Pretty standard. He won everything. He's got the legacy. If we're doing a Premier League all-time 11, there has to be the combination of his level as a player plus the history, how
Status,
iconic he was.
stature.
So Schmeichel for me. Unless you disagree.
No, I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. But I do also think that goalkeepers have evolved so much that there is a case for Edison, Alisson, even Cech. Like, you could even argue Van der Sar, you know. But no, okay, let's go with the prestige, which is Schmeichel.
Yep.
Just for the ability to fill the goal.
Yeah. Right back. Now, this is where I've gone a little bit left field, and this is not me being biased. I have to put Kyle Walker in. I have to. Being a fullback, you have to be good off the ball, and now you have to be incredible on the ball. So you have to be all well-rounded. Off the ball, he's better than Gary Neville. He's quicker. He's stronger. Maybe he lacks a little bit positionally, where Gary Neville was very, very switched on positionally. But Mbappe versus Gary Neville in the World Cup, if this was 9 months ago, Gary Neville is crying and getting absolutely mugged off and screaming into the stands and getting killed. Okay, Kyle Walker manhandled him. Same with Vinicius in the Champions League semi-final. And Gary Neville would have got killed by Vinicius when he was clean through on goal. Do you remember that? Five yards clear. So Kyle Walker, he's the best athlete in the whole list.
None of what you said is true.
No, I thought you were going to go with the whole, you're bang on, mate.
No, sorry, I'm going to go the other way. You and I were not agreeing much today. None of that is true. There is this weird recency thing. Look, this isn't about Kyle Walker. By the way, I could end this and agree with Kyle Walker if you are really passionate about it, because we have to do this together.
Yeah.
But if it were my vote, it's not a hill I'm going to die on at all. If it were my vote, I think I'm still going Gary Neville. Gary Neville.
What is that quality that I'm missing?
Played his entire career at the very top level. He hasn't done the Tottenham thing where he didn't win anything. He was at the very best for the entirety. The amount of medals that team won was unbelievable. The amount of money that Manchester United era spent and never, ever tried to replace their right back.
Yeah.
It makes him effectively the best right back in the world at the time because Manchester United were in a situation where they could have bought everyone, they could have been looking out, and they were so comfortable with having Gary Neville there that they never tried to replace him. You know, they went and they signed.
Adam uses the same argument. I think sometimes if the kitchen sink ain't faulty, you don't fix it. I mean, it's not the most, I know, but you get if you've got a bit of money, you get a new flat screen TV. You know, you get the new striker if you're struggling. If Dwight York didn't come in and score a load of goals, they get a new guy. They could sign Eric Cantona when they were struggling.
But Gary Neville,
look, I'm not saying that's because he was terrible. He was amazing. But to say he was he was never. I don't think there was a period where Gary Neville was the best right back in world football ever.
But he was integral to a treble win.
Yeah, of course he was.
Doesn't by association, are you not world class?
I say what I mean is there was a period where he wouldn't have been as good as Cafu, a few other players, maybe a Philip Lahm at points at the back end of his career, maybe there's a few others, but I don't think he ever got. You know, we talk about Danny Alves being the best right back of all time.
People do. I don't.
I think he's up there. He's nowhere near Danny Alves.
Kyle Walker is one of the best right backs ever.
Yeah,
ever. Kyle Walker is amazing. And I think, to be totally honest, between Neville and Walker now, I think there's a Rizzler paper. And if we're doing this together, and I can tell that you're passionate about Walker, and therefore I'll go with it.
Yeah.
But say I was doing this solo, I would have probably gone Neville. But there isn't much in it. So centre halves.
I think these are non-negotiable. There's no weird, shout for me. I think it's John Terry, Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. I think there's if do you know what's quite an interesting one? Say I were to say, who would your next two be? So you can't have Terry, you can't have Ferdinand. Just who would your next pairing be?
Vidic and company.
Really?
Yeah, I think Ruben Diaz is very, very close, and so is John Stones. But Company is a close third for me. Obviously, people were throwing Tony Adams, etc.
Yeah.
A Company had the ability to play. He played for Mancini, when it was a bit more physical, and then he was so important for Guardiola. He was good on the ball, Company. So he has that quality. Sol Campbell's close. I think people forget how good he was. He was probably the best centre back in the world for a couple of years.
The answer is John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. But if we're doing the next two, I was thinking about mine, and I'm not sure, but Sol Campbell's in it.
Yeah.
And then I think Tony Adams for leadership.
Pure leadership.
And like ability, Tony Adams. Like he did so much for that Arsenal team.
Yeah.
And he kind of went through two eras. You know, when a player has managed to, like, he was at Arsenal when it was 1-0 to the Arsenal, George Graham and all that. And then, you know, when things changed, he then scores that goal against Everton when Arsenal win the double, and he's surrounded by like some of the best footballers in the world. You know, he was, when it was all rough and Arsenal were like geezers and it was Steve Bold and Martin Keown and Nigel Winterburn, Adams is there.
Yep.
And then it gets sexy. Then it gets get the ball on the floor and knock it around. Then it gets like, how good are you actually at football? And Adams is still there.
100%.
But yeah, you are right.
Should we talk about Rio and Terry very quickly then, why they're in there? I mean, John Terry for me is number one.
Yeah.
I think he is slightly better off the ball than Ferdinand was in terms of in the challenge. And I think his consistency is important. He wins the Premier League in 2004, and then he wins one 10 years later as captain, 2015. So it's 5 to 15. So yeah, so he wins the Premier League in 2005, and then 10 years later in 2015, he wins it with Chelsea again as captain. That's 10 years of consistency.
Do you know what was amazing as well? A couple of years earlier, 2013, Rafael Benitez was Chelsea manager, and he basically said, John Terry's finished. Do you know what happened? Chelsea then, 2015, we win the League Cup. We beat Tottenham in the final. Terry scores. We win the Premier League. John Terry plays every minute of every game that season.
Amazing.
2 years after Benitez said he's done. Do you know what Terry did? Do you remember something called an ice bucket challenge? Do you remember that thing?
Yep.
Terry did it. Obviously, Terry's like a professional athlete and rips and that. He does it. You had to nominate people. He went, Rafael Benitez.
That's brilliant. I've not heard that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that, guiled him up a little bit and got him into that focus
it was.
state.
No, he was. I mean, John Terry is the number one as well. I agree with you. And then Rio Ferdinand is definitely the pairing.
100%, but non-QPR Rio Ferdinand. I think we can all agree. Left back is the biggest non-negotiable going, actually, in all of football, almost, in Premier League football.
Well, the thing is, this is the one position where you could actually make this. You can pick any fullback in the world. We're doing a Premier League 11. You can pick any fullback in the world.
I'm with you on this.
And the answer is Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
Don't care. People. Anybody says Roberto Carlos, they are insane.
I agree.
So yeah, I think it's Ashley Cole. I don't think we've seen anything like Ashley Cole. I think when you just look at the consistency, when you look at what his move to Chelsea represented, it signified the power shift. It was part of the power shift, and obviously, you know, when you were talking,
I mean, defensively, I've never seen anything like it.
He
killed Ronaldo in the Euros and the World Cup between
every time.
04 and 06.
Do you remember when he went like that to him in the pocket?
Oh,
Ashley
right,
Cole,
did he do? I didn't see
Ashley
him
Cole
do
on
that.
the pitch to Ronaldo.
Yeah, did he?
They had a thing. Cole goes sliding in, their ball goes out of play. Ronaldo gets up and he goes to have a pop at Cole. Cole's like, you can lip read what he's saying, and he's saying like sod off, but more rudely.
Yeah.
And then he like mimics, you're in my pocket.
That's brilliant.
You're in my pocket. Yeah, amazing.
He's unbelievable.
An amazing moment. And yeah, a true. He also had, you know, when we were talking earlier about Harry Maguire, you like the fact that he scored the penalty. Ashley Cole, for what you're talking about. In Bayern Munich, when Chelsea won the European Cup, he scores a penalty. When interviewed afterwards, they said, you know, the Germans don't lose on penalties. He's got a great iconic line. He goes, well, they do now.
Yeah, of course.
And even there was another moment, I think it was 04 Euros, England, Portugal. Ashley Cole had never taken a professional penalty in his life. And their keeper, forget his name, took his gloves off and all that. Do you remember? All of the antics. Yeah. Their keeper took the gloves off. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, Ashley Cole steps up, never taken a professional penalty, wallop.
Smashes it.
Yeah, geezer.
Yeah, unbelievable. Let's do two centre midfielders in the kind of central positions.
This is hard now.
It is getting hard. I think there's one that is as close to a non-negotiable as possible. Patrick Vieira for me, because of that mixture of leadership, important goals, invincible record, defensively powerful. I think he's everything that Man United fans think Rory Keane is. I think Vieira was. You know, I think Rory Keane. I love Rory Keane, but Vieira was proper.
So difficult.
Proper.
The Vieira definitely doesn't make mine.
Doesn't make yours.
No, Vieira's not. You're going to have to do yours. Put your other one on the table, and then I'm going to try and make it work because we have to agree, don't we?
I do you know what? When I say Vieira, Gerrard, Keane, Scholes, all these players that might be in the list,
Kante.
as a City fan, we weren't competing. So I'm a neutral. I'm a neutral in this. So this is just as a kid growing up, seeing some of these players. It's just the level that they took the game onto in this country. So Steven Gerrard has to be in alongside Patrick Vieira for me. He has every quality of a midfielder you could possibly want, and people will throw the whole trophy thing at him. If you think Harry Kane's a winner without winning anything, then Gerrard certainly is in the Premier League kind of era.
I admire Gerrard. I think he's an amazing player. So have some of the best goals I've ever seen scored by, like one of my favourite ever goals, just in terms of like looking at it, and it defied all kind of logic and science. Very unlikely you're going to remember this, but you can't remember a goal that Steven Gerrard scored away at Marseille, can you? There's no reason why. It's unbelievable. It's touched back to him, and he whips it with his right foot. You know when it's curling away from the goal and into the top corner in the opposite side. Steven Gerrard. It's so difficult for me to leave him out of this, and I don't know if I even am going to yet. But I'm struggling with the two obvious for me. If we were doing this a few years ago, I'd have just gone Gerrard Lampard. And I would have found this very easy. I'd have just gone Gerrard Lampard. There would have been no debate. Do you know what's happened? N'Golo Kante has happened. And Kevin De Bruyne has happened.
Yeah.
And that's really making my life difficult here. Because I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do. I think I'm just going to...
Kante's a little bit easier to just discard. With all due respect. You know I love
Do you
Kante.
reckon? Okay, talk me through this. Teach me, because at the moment, Kante's going to be in. So tell me why he isn't.
I think the Premier League. We're doing a Premier League 11. I actually think Kante gets close to an all-time football 11. But in the era of the Premier League, I know winning the Leicester City, the Premier League is so important. He only won one Premier League with Chelsea.
Yeah, but he took it with him.
I know he did. I'm not. He was so important. He was almost the winner for both sides back-to-back years.
And a European Cup.
And a European Cup, but we're doing the Premier League only, and the iconic moments. I don't think he compares to Patrick Vieira. I just don't think he does.
Yeah. Okay. So
but I think his level is almost better than Vieira's.
I'm just going to do what I do. Gerrard, Lampard. Gerrard and Lampard are the two best.
They can't play together.
They can. They just had a crap manager.
Yeah, that's true.
Jose Mourinho broke his neck to sign Steven Gerrard. Jose Mourinho 06 obviously believed that he could make it work.
I remember sat there watching the news and he was on the motorway.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then someone said, he's done a U-turn on the motorway.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Do you know why? Tell you after.
Tell me after. All right, so what we're doing, Patrick Vieira for sure and Steven Gerrard for sure. Should we do that? Or
Patrick Vieira for sure, Steven
I don't
Gerrard.
think Lampard...
Gerrard was in both of ours.
Yeah, so Lampard... Gerrard gets in.
Gerrard was in... Lampard was only in mine.
Vieira and Lampard. Lampard over
Vieira
Vieira?
over Lampard, can you?
Yeah, you need one that's a little bit more conservative. I think Lampard's closer to a luxury player than Gerrard's essential. Vieira's essential. Lampard was important.
My two are Lampard, Gerrard, but I'm happy to, of course, democracy reigns, and therefore, if you want Vieira,
okay,
Vieira it is.
I've got De Bruyne right mid, a bit like a David Beckham role.
Yeah.
I think you have to put him in with the amount of titles he's won now.
Oh, hang on. Wait, what?
We're doing 4-4-2. Right mid is De Bruyne for me.
Okay. But he's not down as our right mid option.
He is for me.
Okay, but you can't play by your own rules.
I can.
Your right options are Ronaldo, Beckham, or Salah.
No, I refuse. I can't. I'm not having that. I don't like any of them. I'm not having any of them.
But Kevin De Bruyne is top of the central midfielder list.
Yeah, but don't forget Beckham. Beckham's in the list. Yeah, he was playing in midfield at points for Man United. He was tucked in tight. De Bruyne could do the same role. De Bruyne isn't a centre mid flat in a 4-4-2. He's not. So he has to play somewhere out of position anyway. He plays right mid for me every day of the week.
I mean, it's the way that I'm looking at the right mid. It's Beckham, Ronaldo, Salah. And I think it's very difficult to leave out Ronaldo, but in my team, he's left out.
Yeah, same here.
I don't like him.
No, I don't like him.
I don't like him.
He was there for 4 or 5 years, desperate to leave multiple seasons. He won the Ballon d'Or in the Premier League, the last player to do that, of course. But his longevity isn't there.
Okay, I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
I heard him talking about himself in the third person yesterday.
Yeah.
It really wound me up.
Yeah.
When Cristiano Ronaldo went to Saudi, It set the tone.
Yeah.
Wait, you are Cristiano Ronaldo. Just say me.
If you refer to yourself in the third person, you need to call a certain phone number for help.
Yeah, he's not in my team. I don't care how good he is. I just don't like him. And the answer for no is David Beckham.
What, over De Bruyne?
Yeah. De
Oh,
Bruyne is
yeah.
not a right winger.
He is. He's a
I'm
right
playing
mid.
4-4-2 here.
David Beckham's not a right
Mate,
wing.
can you just play by the rules
I
of the
don't
game?
know. I can't, because whoever did the shortlist, it's shocking.
Our producer.
Shocking.
I'm going for David Beckham, and I'm playing by the rules, Jack. Please bear this in mind.
Well, we're going to have him to pick then. De Bruyne as right mid or Beckham as right mid?
Beckham.
No way.
Beckham.
Oh, for
Thank you,
God's
Jack.
sake.
Beckham. He is a right mid.
So is De Bruyne at
So
points.
left wing is Hazard, Giggs, or Bale.
Well, I've not done it this way. No one told me it had to be these shortlists. I've put in Rooney as a tucked in left mid.
You can't do that. Can you play the game in the rules that they're supposed to be played?
But De Bruyne, I'm not saying Ashley Cole plays number 9. I'm not saying Schmeichel plays as a deep line midfielder.
Mate,
De
if
Bruyne-
4-4-2
De Bruyne can play as a right mid tucked in tight.
We were told
No
to think of our team as a 4-4-2.
Yeah. If I was manager, I'd play De Bruyne as a tucked in right midfielder.
Yeah, but that's not what we're doing. A 4-4-2 isn't
you
a
just said I'm a
tucked in.
manager.
But 4-4-2
What
isn't
meant
a
I'm a
tucked
manager?
in
Next time I'm
midfielder,
not
is it? That would be 4-3-3.
No, it's not. It's 4-4-2. A narrow tucked. Giggs and Beckham used to be tucked in
No, they
tight.
didn't. They were wingers. What are you talking about?
Beckham used to tuck in tight and play
No.
deep line balls
No.
from midfield,
No,
spraying
Beckham
it
was a
around.
winger.
No, not in my. He played right wing at points.
Just play the game.
All right, left mid or left wing. I'm putting in Rooney.
For fuck's sake!
Tuck in.
I'm not playing with you anymore. This is the team. I'm doing it on my own. No, this is no longer. Cut away from
Go on,
it.
who's your left wing
No,
then? Who's
you're
your
not in this video anymore. This team, this is Rory and Buvey's combined 4-4-2 team. The midfield goes like this. Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard. David Beckham.
Here we go.
David Beckham
Dennis
on the
Wise.
right.
Dennis Wise.
David Beckham on the right.
Yeah.
Ryan Giggs on the left.
No, it's not Giggs. Is
Up
it?
front
Not Giggs.
is Thierry Henry and... Can I ask you, can I seek your counsel on one issue?
Yeah.
Is the answer Alan Shearer or Harry Kane?
No. Sergio Aguero. I'm not even trying to gas you up.
Hang on a minute, we can't leave Wayne Rooney out of this team.
That's why I tucked him in left mid.
Wayne Rooney.
I don't know why you can't think abstractly.
Because I'm not thinking abstractly. I'm playing by the rules.
Well,
Mate,
you
you
have
have a
rigid.
producer.
Football's changed. We had Bernardo Silva this season playing left back.
Mate.
So things can change. Rooney tucks in tight. De Bruyne tucks in tight. They feed
Mate,
in
why you gotta
balls
be a maverick?
to Aguero and Henry.
Do you know what?
Just basic
Do you know
football manager.
what
You've
I
never been a
like?
football manager.
Do you know what I
can
like in
tell.
my life? Do you know what I have in my life at the moment? I have so much responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like about having a producer?
Yeah.
Tells me what to do.
Yeah.
Like when I play football, right? When I play football, occasionally I play with Ralph Little, and he's very bossy on the football pitch.
Is he? Yeah.
Very bossy.
Tells you what to do.
Tells you what to do. But do you know what? I've got so much responsibility in my life. I'm spinning so many plates that when I play football, it's just a gift. He tells
go.
me, go
Just
left,
go.
go right, inside, outside, turn
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
turn.
yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. The producer has told me, pick a football team.
Okay.
Your best team, 4-4-2.
I'll follow the rules. You throw in whatever dead player you want, and we're going to leave out Wayne Rooney.
No, I'm not
So,
leaving out Wayne
well done.
Rooney.
Adam might want to come back from New York.
The front two is Thierry Henry and Wayne Rooney. I've done this correctly.
So where's Wayne? Oh, sorry, Wayne Rooney and Thierry Henry.
As a front two.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Rooney has to be in.
Rooney's in.
Rooney has to be in. Henry has to be in.
Feels weird to leave out Alan Shearer, but he's left out. It also feels weird to me to leave out Harry Kane, I think he's amazing.
He is amazing, but he's never as good as Aguero. And Aguero has
Yeah.
the league titles to prove it as well, and the most iconic moment in Premier League history.
Fair. I think that's our team.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, except De Bruyne, who can play as a right.
I agree with probably 30% of what you've said today.
That's a high number.
Today.
That's a high number.
In the whole of the day, even off camera.
That's bigger than 0.